I really want you to do me a favor, okay? Close your eyes for 1 second. Let me tell you something. I'm not about to propose to you, but just close your eyes for 1 second. Have you closed your eyes? Okay, good. Now, imagine walking into a boardroom or a conference room with all versions of you seated, because whether I like it or not, like, we all have different versions of ourselves. That is why when you meet somebody, you might, have that person might have a different opinion of you. The other person you meet might have a different opinion of you. Somebody might think you're wicked, the other person might think, oh, you're kind, the other person might think you're gentle. Like, yeah. So imagine walking into a conference room where all versions of you are seated: the kind version of you, the sweet version of you, the wicked version of you, the evil version of you, the psycho version of you seated. And you're just standing there and addressing all of them and talking to all of them. You're talking to the evil version, like, why did you do this? Did you have to do that? Why are you always angry? You're talking to the angry version of you. The angry version of me is about to wake up because of that stupid dog. Well, yeah, that was going on out there. Anyways, I'm so sorry for the noise, guys. I hope you can still hear me loud and clear. So yeah, what was I? So all versions of you are seated in this boardroom, right? And there is something that I do when I wake up every single day. Every single day that I wake up, there is no day that I do not talk to this person. And this person is literally the coolest, the smartest, the sweetest, the dopest, the realest person in my life. And that person is no other person but, drum roll, me. Yes, me. Who else were you expecting? Of course, I'm the realest, the dopest, the sweetest, the yummiest, and juiciest person in my life. Yes, nobody else knows me the way that I know myself. Today's video, we're talking about the important and why you should talk to yourself today. Why you should start talking to yourself if you do not already do. I know that I sound a bit crazy right now, but just hear me out. I promise you, at the end of this video, you're not going to regret it. And it's all going to make sense at the end. Okay, like, it's so important to talk to yourself. I know sometimes, oh, I'm not even going to lie, like, if you catch me talking to myself, you will literally think that I am crazy. The conversations are very, very loud sometimes because I live alone. Okay, so like, I have the liberty, I have the freedom to do and undo the way I want and the way I like. Like, I literally talk to everything. Sometimes apart from me talking to myself, like, I will be talking to objects. See me, I'm catching myself now, but yeah. And yeah, so let's just get right into the video. And I have 5 tips for you guys. And the very first thing, the very first important reason why you should start talking to yourself today, if you do not already do, is you cannot lie to yourself. Okay, you cannot lie to yourself. Pretend all you want, girl. Pretend all you want, act all you want, impersonate all you want. By the end of the day, yes, you watching me right now, deep down in your mind and your soul, you know the truth. You know what's real and you know what's fake. You can try to deceive every single person on the planet, but you cannot deceive yourself, my love. And sometimes you subconsciously lie to yourself. But you see, when you sit down and talk to yourself, like, I want you to start doing something today. Like, before you do anything, or if you catch yourself doing something, like, ask yourself what, who, why, where. Like, why are you doing this? Okay, like, what are you doing this for? Like, who are you doing this for? Like, ask yourself those questions. Trust me, the kind of clarity that you're going to gain from certain decisions and actions that you take in your life is going to be mind blowing. Sometimes you lie to yourself without even knowing it. Yes. Sometimes it's not intentional, it just happens. You just find yourself, telling yourself a lie. Telling yourself a big lie. Yes. So start talking to yourself today, because you cannot lie to yourself, okay? You're the only one that have met all the versions of you. You're the only one that know what all the versions of you need. Now only you sabi, nobody else sabi. Now only you. Only you. Even your mother or your father doesn't know you the way you know your own self. You're the only one that has the ultimate power, or you're the only one that gets the ultimate power to experience every single version of you. So the fact that you cannot lie to yourself, as a reason why you should start talking to yourself. Because it's just like the police, investigating a case, and they're asking the suspect or the criminal questions to solve the case. That criminal is the only one that knows the answer, okay, and he's the only one that can solve it. If he doesn't say the truth, they might not be able to. Of course, investigations might unfold, and they might have evidence and catch him, but like it would be easy if he just tell them the reason for the crime, or give them evidence to solve the crime and all. You get what I'm trying to say? So the fact that you cannot lie to yourself, you can't. My number two reason why you should talk to yourself today, like yarn with yourself, have convos with yourself. You're not crazy when you do this, okay? I know people think it's crazy. I'm going to keep emphasizing on the fact that it is not crazy. It's actually good. And this point is going to prove that, like, you are your greatest therapist. Okay, you are your greatest therapist. Yeah, you might have other people counsel you, advise you. You might even have a therapist where you go to frequently for consultation, to try to better yourself, your mental health, or whatever is troubling you. But if you do not talk to yourself and follow the advice that you've been given, it's not going to work. All the therapy, all the money, all the time that you've been wasting is not going to work. Like, you're your own greatest therapist. Sometimes you have to sit down and analyze, evaluate, interrogate yourself. Sometimes you have to set things straight in your own freaking head, because the kind of scenarios you be creating in your head, like, it's crazy and it's making you go crazy. You need to sit down and talk to yourself and tell yourself that, oh, this is wrong, oh, this doesn't make sense, like, why am I even doing this, what's the point of this? Like, when you sit down, when you begin to ask yourself questions, see, people take talking to yourself lightly, but it is not. If it's not something that you should joke with, though. I know sometimes you can joke with yourself, play with yourself, compliment yourself, like hype yourself up and all, but sometimes it gets really serious. Okay, whenever you're going through stuff, whenever you are going through an experience that is very painful, I want you to sit down and talk to yourself. Okay, sit down and talk to yourself. Trust me, I know that having people in your life, communicating with other people, sharing your feelings and thoughts, it goes a long way, and in making you feel better or solve the problem in your life. But talking to yourself also, it makes you know what you truly want. It makes you know what you're truly lacking. It makes you know how you are truly feeling. And this is something that a therapist cannot completely. I've never been to therapy before, but I just know that what's inside of you, if you do not say it out for another person to hear it, they're not going to know what's going on inside your head. You're the only one that know how you feel inside your head. If you don't say it out loud, nobody else is going to know. And sometimes you say it out loud, but people do not get you or understand you, but you're the only one that understands yourself and know exactly what's going on inside of you. So yeah, you are your own greatest therapist. And this is why you should talk to yourself. Tell me, say no makes sense. It makes sense now. Let's see the talk. I think another reason why you should talk to yourself is you should ask yourself questions. Okay, I think I've already said this in this points that I just spoke about, like asking yourself questions: what, who, where, why, who, like all those questions. Nobody can answer those questions for you. Nobody can answer those questions for you. You're the only one that can answer certain questions in your life. You are the only one like this. Your mother cannot answer it for you, your father cannot answer it for you. But when you talk to yourself, like, you know exactly how you're feeling, you know exactly what led you to this point, you know exactly why you are doing this. Your biggest breakthrough, because you know the correct questions and the right questions to ask yourself. Okay, you know the path to follow, you know what you're meant to do. Okay, you know what you are good at, you know what you're passionate about. And if you do not talk to yourself and ask yourself questions, like, how exactly are you going to know? You're never ever going to know. Like, you should have solid convos like this with yourself, because you're the realest person ever. You're the realest person ever in your life. Just like I said at the beginning of this video, like, nobody can 100% satisfy you the way you would satisfy yourself 1000,000,000%. So make sure that you do not take this lightly. Okay, another reason why you should talk to yourself is self-advice. Self-advice. Sometimes people will be advising you, it will be entering here and coming out here. You know what they say? They say experience is the best teacher. Sometimes when you do not experience something yourself, you find it so hard, to believe what another person is saying. You find it so hard to understand because you are not in that person's shoes. So how exactly are you going to understand? Self-advice can only happen when you talk to yourself. It is necessary to give yourself advice. So it is necessary to give yourself advice. Self-advice is very, very valuable. You know why? Because you alone, you're the only one that know yourself 100%. You know yourself better than anybody else that is walking on this planet right now. So if you do not talk to yourself, if you do not give yourself advice by talking to yourself, calling yourself to shun, commanding yourself. Sometimes you have to command yourself. You have to tell yourself, like, that Chris where they worry you for head, you need to talk to that Chris. Because we all have, that crazy side to us. Okay. Like, that's why you see somebody that is very calm, always calm, and they do not, maybe introvert basically, and let's say something happened to them or they experience something and then maybe they just flare up and get angry and act a certain type of way, and then people will be like, this girl and a quiet girl and a quiet girl. Forget that thing. All of us, we get coins, we get grace for head. You get grace for head. All it takes is just that trigger to bring that grace out, and the discipline also to keep that grace inside. So see, they advise yourself, big time. Make sure that you take time to reflect on your life, identify obstacles and make changes. Okay, take time to reflect. Identify obstacles. To identify obstacles in your life, you have to reflect on your life. You need to talk to yourself, because you're the only one that know exactly what's going on inside of you. And if you do not talk to yourself, it's just like you're in a relationship with somebody, right? They might be going through stuff, but if they do not talk to you, you wouldn't know that they're going through stuff. Now, how you want to take maybe which? I wish I had a superpower, where I can just know what people are thinking. God, my life was sweet past like this. But anyways, we move. But see, you cannot know exactly what they're thinking until you talk to your partner, until you guys sit down and communicate. Communication. Okay, self-communication. Okay. Don't look at it as a crazy thing. Just say, oh, it's self-communication. Okay, let's sugarcoat it. Okay, let's touch it up. Self-communication. Yes, that sounds better. If you don't talk to them, you wouldn't know what's going on. And yeah, when you talk to them, you know exactly what's going on and you know how to fix it. So the same thing applies to you too. Nobody they tell you, say, oh, you're crazy for. Nobody should make you feel like you are insane for talking to yourself, because you're not. Take it from me or leave it. The last reason that I have for you guys today on reasons why you should talk to yourself, and this one's my personal favorite. The last ones are always save the best for the last. This is when you talk to yourself, it helps you regulate your nervous system. I love this point so much. And you know that your nervous system is what makes you stable. Okay, is what keeps you in check. Okay, like when your nervous system is not stable, it's just like when earthquake is happening. Okay, when earthquake is happening in a place, you know how everywhere will be shaking. Boom, 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 boom. That's what happens when your nervous system is not stable. Your entire body, you lose balance, you lose focus, everywhere is shaking, things are going crazy, you're about to explode, you're about to flare up, you're about to go crazy. But when you talk to yourself in a very, calming way, when you talk to yourself in a positive way, there's a way it calms you down and it regulates your nervous systems. It brings you back to default setting. It takes you from crazy, mad, weary to to normal person, calm person. Like, it works for me so much. Like, I can literally just, something that just happened to me right now, I'll tell myself that I'm not going to respond to this. Okay, I'm not going to give my energy to this. I'm just going to stay quiet. And automatically, because I've told myself that I'm not going to respond and I'm not going to give my energy, like, you just see me calm because I've told myself I'm going to be calm. This has to do with self-respect too. Like, if you do not respect yourself, sometimes you might say things to yourself and go contrary to what you've said. But if you respect yourself and your decisions, I spoke about self-respect on my last video, so make sure you go and watch that video. Okay, like, when you respect yourself, like, you're going to respect your own words and you're going to take your advice really seriously, and your nervous system is so important. A lot of us in this Lagos, Not us, why am I including myself? A lot of people, other people, are running around with loosed, malfunctioned, dysfunctional nervous system. Because tell me why the level of craziness, the level of craze, the level of let's not even talk about it. Jesus, Lagos is quite an interesting place because you think you've seen it all until you see it. You God, let's not even get into that. But like, yeah, this is the end of the video, and I hope that with this few points of mine, I've been able to convince but not to confuse you that you should start self-communicating with yourself today. Okay, start having convos with yourself because you're literally the sweetest, the realest, the dopest, the sweetest, the funniest, the prettiest, the smartest person ever lived. Yes, you are. Okay, when it comes to you, you are. People like, oh, the world doesn't revolve around you. Like, then who else does the world revolve around? It's me. The world revolves around me. I don't know about you, but it revolves around me. You can be in denial and say it doesn't revolve around you, but it revolves around me. Okay, it is my world, and I choose to live and do as I like. Or what am I saying now? Anyways, it's been so nice, chatting with you, and let me know your opinions in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.